Squad, Mike with another upgrade video. So today we got the Kraton 6S EXB V2 on the bench, and we're gonna put a new upgrade from M2C on it. They came out with this awesome new rear skid plate chassis, so I guess you would say chassis support. I don't want to say it wrong because it is more than just an aluminum skid plate. This new part will actually tie the chassis together between the rear bulkhead and the new chassis brace that stock 6S EXB comes with. Now, I have M2C braces on mine, so mine's going to be a little different than if yours was just a stock truck. And my chassis is nice and bent. I'll try to throw some of the pictures up around here to show you. You can't really see it that good. Once we get the chassis off, I will show you how bent the chassis is. But in this video, we're gonna get this chassis swapped out. We're gonna get this awesome new chassis support installed, and we're gonna start the testing of it. So I got the chassis support from M2C. I don't know if I can zoom into that a little better. But this is it. I also have a new EXB chassis. So for testing purposes, instead of putting an M2C chassis on this truck, I am gonna put another stock chassis back on, and I'm going to try this brace out for you guys just to see if this is gonna work for you guys. You know, if you're just doing some moderate to mild bashing, the EXB chassis with this brace is probably going to be more than enough. Now, if you're Aldo or Rich or RC Dude 81, Bars and Tones, Thunder, if you're one of those guys, you're probably just going to want to go ahead and get a chassis. Extreme bashing needs a little more support, but this should work for the normal everyday guy who just, you know, jumps off of hills or has a small ramp. This should save your chassis. Now, in my experience with the Kraton especially, even like the Italians and stuff, these chassis always end up bending through here. It's either gonna be where this cutout is for the C block, it's gonna start bending there, or it's gonna bend in here where this is so thin. This is where they all bend. Like my fire team, for example, my first run with my fire team out running it, it broke the rear support and caused the chassis to just banana right there. And this is going to stop that. Now this is for the Kraton. I don't know if they will do this for other cars yet. I guess we're gonna try this out and see if it works. And like I said, this is meant for the new V2 version that has actually these two mounting holes for the new rear chassis brace, because it bolts up at the bulkhead back here just like normal, but when it mounts to the chassis now, instead of just having the one screw that the M2C when lock nuts in, it actually has two screws. So when I install mine, since I have the M2C, let me get this out of here. Since I have the M2C brace, I only have one bolt, but I'm gonna nut and bolt this on. So this will attach to your chassis and line up to the existing holes just like so. And the way my car is set up, the chassis brace is attached to this top hole. So down here where this secondary hole is, I am just gonna put a small M4 and a lock nut on, just so that it's got that double clamp there and then these four there, and you can clearly see how much stiffer that's gonna make the rear of this truck. So I'm pretty stoked to get this on and try this out, guys. So let me get to ripping this thing apart, and once I get the chassis off, I'll bring you back so I can show you just how bent this chassis is before we move on to putting the chassis back on, and then I'll bring you back once I'm mounting the M2C Racing rear chassis support for these. Hey guys, so we're back. We got the old chassis off. The only real problem that I had was the EXB servo mount. A couple of screws were rounded off, and I tried getting them out, and I made a rookie mistake, not really thinking, so now I need a new servo mount. I think to get the process going today, I'm just gonna go ahead and put a regular old plastic servo mount in just so I can get this back together now, and I'll see about getting me either another EXB or maybe an M2C servo mount or something. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and get a stock one that I'm pretty sure that I have a stock one. So if I do, I'm gonna go ahead and get that put on and get it put back together. Now, I don't know, zooming in if you can see, this thing's bent all across here. It's actually bent back here. Here's the new EXB chassis. So when I hold them together, I mean, that gives you a little, I hope that gives you an idea of just how bent this thing is in the back. And that is exactly what this new M2C Racing rear chassis brace will do. Once bolted in, line it all up. Once it's all mounted in like that, that locks that whole area together, so that shouldn't happen again. Now, if you're doing huge sins, like I said, it's probably still going to happen, but if you're just mildly bashing or some moderate bashing, nothing, no 30, 40, 50 foot in the air, I mean, and you're still, you know, you go full bore into a curve, you're still gonna break something, guys. It's just RC. But this is really gonna help out a ton. So let me get this new chassis fitted back on the truck. And once I get the new chassis on the truck, I will go into a little detail on this rear brace support, just to give you a little clarification of how it went when I got it together, guys. Okay guys, so for the most part, we have the new chassis back on the EXB, and at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and install the new rear chassis brace. And I only have one screw holding the rear diff on right now because it's all locked in together. The rear chassis brace from the bulkhead down to the chassis isn't attached. And I'll come back through after I get everything bolted in place and Loctite what needs Loctited. So the way I see fit to attack this is I just want to get this laid on here in a different screw. I'll put right here, and I'll show you because I know the camera's at a weird angle. But get this one screw in. Get this one screw in so that my bulkhead's on, and then I'll be able to slide this over to remove this one. And then I can slide this back and tighten everything down and install all the other bolts, including these two that down here that lock it into the rear chassis brace from the other side. So let me get that done, guys. And once I got this all back on, as long as there was no issues, I will show you what this looks like all together. Okay guys, so that does it. It is all back together. We have this new brace on here, as you can see, M2C Racing rear chassis support, all tied into the chassis braces. This thing, I don't know guys, I got a feeling guys that this is gonna be a perfect upgrade for the guys who don't need all the extreme bash upgrades. These chassis are very known to bend almost as easy as a stock chassis would be, even though this is EXB 7075. There's a difference in the 7075 used in the factory of these companies versus an aftermarket company making a 7075 chassis. Not to mention even thicker. I mean, that 1 millimeter of thickness makes a huge difference. But now having this new rear brace on the chassis, I think that we should be good for the bending the chassis in the rear where it's known to bend the most. This is locking it all together. So now all we gotta do is get out there and give her a try and see what happens, guys. Now, like I said, I didn't do all the Loctite as I put this thing together because I was just trying to get it together for the video. So I'm gonna get everything Loctited like it needs to be, get the wheels on this bad boy, and it's testing time. Welcome back, RC4S Squad. Mike with another Kraton 6S EXB V2 video. We got the fresh park out and we're at my local park again, where I was last time when I really bent this chassis. So today the big deal we're going to be doing is really testing out this new chassis piece. Let me flip this thing around. This new chassis piece from M2C. This rear chassis stiffener, guys. So I got it all installed. I got the new chassis on, as you've seen in the video before, and we got the fresh park out today. So we're gonna put it on this thing and see what this bar does to see if it stops this thing from bending back here. I pretty much bend these stock chassis lickety split. They never really last very long with me, personally anyways. Still got my Garage Life RC wing mount on here, guys. And still got the KCRC towers and center braces, the M2C chassis braces to match that stiffener. So let me get this thing plugged in, powered up, and let's just get right into the ripping, guys. All right, guys, getting this body back on. I can definitely tell I have a new chassis because the body fit perfect, which is very unusual for this thing. I turned the ramp around this time because I know last time I was out here I had it going the other way, and not that I didn't mind that, I just do better at standing on this side of the ramp for some reason. Gonna need a little bit of warming up, guys, as usual. Let me try this side. I don't know. I think it's because the ramp's a little crooked. That was a brutal hit. As long as everything's still good, we're okay. Oh, my wheel came off. That sucks. There's the lug nut laying out there, guys. I hope I didn't strip another one of these hexes because I know this thing was tight. Oh, I think the wheel hex looks okay.
I didn't bring no spare tires with me either, guys, or no other 6S car. Let me get this back over to the car and tighten it down. Okay guys, I got her tightened back down. That's happened a couple times on this truck since I've had it. I actually lost a wheel nut on the other side because it stripped. Aim that thing a little bit this way. Let's try this again. Hopefully this don't end up being a short video. I had high hopes for today. And the battery came unplugged. I guess I should have checked that while I was over there, guys. Oh, I need to tighten that up. That was a nice jump though. Oh, broke it. Dang it. Man, I hit that thing crazy. I don't know if I broke an arm or pulled a pivot ball. Popped the pivot ball out, guys. I have everything to fix this thing. Let me get it back up to the car. I'll be right back, guys. Okay guys, so I'm back up here at the car. I thought the only thing that was wrong with it was I pulled this pillow ball out, but looking at it, I lost the pillow ball retainer. I do not have one of those with me, so as much as I hate to say that was a very short day with the EXB, it was a very short day. Looking inside there, it looks like I ripped the sway bar off. Now, I do want to say the jumps that I've gotten in with this thing, because I've also taken this out without recording just to try things out and see how it was, has gone great. There's absolutely no bow or bend back there in the rear chassis, and I've had some pretty hard hits today that would have bent it, in my opinion. So I'm okay with it. Looks like I got a screw coming loose. I can see grass hanging in it. But until I can get home and I guess just go back to the stock pivot ball retainers like I went on the other side. I should have known better. I should have just switched them back. But it's out there somewhere, and that is what caused that to pop out. So this would be a great time to like the video, guys. If you haven't yet, I would appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe. There'll be a lot more testing coming out on this truck once I get it home and get it fixed and get it back out here, guys. So until next time, peace out, y'all.